Good evening and welcome to the August 1st, 2023 meeting of the Barrington Planning Board. First order of business is a roll call, please, starting with Donna.
Donna Masucci here.
Joyce Capiello here.
Bob Tessier here.
Alan present.
John Driscoll here. We will also note that Donna will be a full voting member tonight. Review and approval of minutes. Does anybody have any questions on the minutes, comments, corrections?
We accept the meeting minutes as written.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry, who motioned?
Ron motion. Oh, yeah,
Motion.
we couldn't hear you, but
Yeah,
there you go.
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes as written.
Very good.
Yeah.
All in favors? Well, let's roll
Oh,
call, I
so,
guess,
yeah.
yeah, roll call. sorry.
BLOI.
Tessier, aye.
Alan, aye.
Driscoll, aye. Next, we have staff updates presenting our town planner.
Just a couple quick things to know. I know we were expecting Elfme to come back in. They decided to withdraw their application. There's no further action required. It will go back if it started as a code enforcement issue.
So they removed the storage containers.
It looks like they have. I know
They
they're
added a
using more of
second
as like
trailer.
a parking lot. I think there's another trailer, but
Couple of trailer trucks.
it'll have to be addressed at the code enforcement level because the applicant decided to withdraw their application. Just, excuse me, at the work session on the 15th, we're gonna be working on draft zoning amendments. I've received 2 from members, so I'll be working on those and a few that staff has. Most of the ones that staff is working on are ones that we mentioned during the recent meetings and definitions to our table of uses. So be ready for that, to discuss that. Just to note, the wetland classification system and case study subcommittee meeting will be on August 8th. And that's where they're going to be working on a case study utilizing a data form. It's called an ecosystem functions and services data form. They wanted everyone to try to fill it out and see if, as a landowner, to see how that works. We'll probably report back on to the 15th results from that. And they'll probably be coming before the board on a work session for their zoning amendment proposal. I'd also like to note that we're going to be updating our rules and procedures at the August 15th meeting. If anybody needs a copy, I can send an electronic copy out. The reason I feel like it needs to be updated, one is that the Stratford County Registry of Deeds, the way that we have our fee structure set up, it was charging applicants for the first page and then they're responsible for the rest of the pages. The county now is asking not to do split payments, so that adjusts our way of doing things. And the way the fee structure is set up. So working on that, probably going to increase a butter fee since postage just keeps going up. Right now it's $8 in a butter. We can discuss what prices might be appropriate. Some towns around here have been doing $10, just I think to just encompass the next few years. So they don't have to like keep coming back. And also we've gotten a lot of voluntary mergers recently. And there was just some question on what to do with that. And staff has in the past has always made sure that they're compliant and turned into the deeds office. I don't know if we want to start charging a fee or not. It's a minimal fee, but it does take staff time. Also make sure that the planning board gives town staff or designee to still authorization for that. I think it may be in our rules procedure, but I want to make sure that that is in there. Unless there's objections to that, we can talk that in the work meeting. So if there's anything else that you've been wanting to say, maybe like time limits for applicants speaking or for projects. I know it has come up a couple of times and notes, and that might be from Ron from your
I know some of my comments.
comments.
Yeah.
That's more of the rules of procedure too. So just wanted to briefly explain why that we're doing that. And I just put the voluntary merger. We just updated it and we don't necessarily need to talk on other business unless there's any other questions on it. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5, public hearing for subdivision regulations. Opening it to public comment. Does anybody have a comment?
Yeah.
Please come up. Identify yourself, please.
If you wouldn't mind turning on, make sure the microphone gets turned on. You're the lucky one.
Turn on the bottom.
Well, it's turned on. I mean, just.
Oh, you did?
The button.
Hey,
Thank you.
no, green.
Yep.
So Brian Whedon, 63 Wing Pond Road. I have a question about the wetland classification system and case study. Is that open to everybody or is something we can fill out or volunteer for?
So currently, right now, this is for a public hearing for the subdivision regulations. That's a separate, item than the wetland classification system. It's open for public. It's a public meeting if you would like to attend, but at that meeting, there's not really any public comment because it's a working group. And then they give the results back to the planning board, but you're more than welcome to attend.
So what time is it on August 8th?
It is at 2 PM.
Okay, I'll be here.
I think I'll double check that it's on the calendar, but I believe it, or like the town calendar, but,
Cool.
okay,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. No more public comments. I guess I will close public comments. And the planning board should vote to adopt the subdivision regulations. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to adopt the subdivision regulations as written.
Okay, I'll second it.
Suchi, aye. Capello, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Alan, I.
Driscoll, aye. Item number 6, item B, concerning application 240-8-NR-23- sub parentheses 23, Young Road LLC. They have asked that the applicant is requested a continuance to September 5th meeting. Do we need a vote?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll do a roll call on that if you agree to grant them a continuance.
We need a motion in a
All
second.
right.
I make a motion, we continue application 240-8-NR-23- sub parentheses 23 to September 5th.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Suchi, aye. Capello, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Alan, I.
Driscoll, aye. Action items, new applications, item 7, application 263-10 lot 105-RC-SR Lee Oaks Cooperative, Inc. Is there anyone here to discuss that?
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Nope, I can hear you, but then.
Can you?
Push the microphone
out through the mic.
There you go.
You don't have to hold it.
Oh, there we go.
you go.
Thank you.
That's better.
Am I to just jump in?
Yeah, just present.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We had made application to the ZBA and we were unanimously approved. And I'm here tonight to request a variance to allow us to site one trailer at lot 105 in Ambleside Drive or within the Leo Cooperative. Do you have a copy of what was sufficing as a site plan that we had presented?
This,
It looks, yes. Something like that?
Yep.
Yes,
What we
thank
got?
you. So if you were to follow along with me briefly, lot 105 is this particular lot right here.
Mhm.
And it has the word UD, which is undeveloped, next to it. When we purchased this, and formed the cooperative 5 years ago, this is the site plan that was given to us by the Roberts family, and it's the only site plan that we've operated from. This plan came to us from the state of New Hampshire. The Roberts family put together this park before any boards existed. So everything went to the state, and this, what was submitted to the state was deemed sufficient enough for them to carry forward with everything they've done in the last 50 years. So now we've taken ownership of the park, and you'll see that there are any of the units that are identified as undeveloped. We have no plans outside of Lot 105. We don't have the existing infrastructure to reach those lots that are suggested by this plan. Nor do we have the resources to be able to extend those. Now, in the streets that you see, they're labeled Roberts, Michael, Melody. You'll see these heavy black lines. That's the existing water that reaches all the lots. So Lot 105 was to be developed by the family, and they didn't. They sold the park. So we have water to 105. We have electricity. The septic is there. Everything is in place. So for us, it's really the only lot that economically makes sense to develop. And that's why I'm here tonight to request that we be allowed to do that. The other areas are left just as undeveloped, and we don't plan to do anything with them.
Any questions before we vote on the waiver? Anybody want to make the motion to accept the waiver? Which is a waiver for Article 3, site plan regulations, site plan specifications and documents.
Whoever makes the motion, can you please include the language for the waiver for the record
sure.
for the board? Thank you.
Make a motion that we waive the requirement for full engineering for application 263-10-1 dash lot 105-RC-SR.
And you just want to do the wording?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
The request of waiver from the applicant, to language to include an approval of a waiver is not granting the waiver will pose an unnecessary hardship to the applicant, and grant the waiver would not be contrary to the spirit and intent of regulations.
Good job. But it would have required to leave the mic on one more.
Seconds?
Somebody second comes.
I'll second that.
Sorry.
That was a weak.
Roll call, please, starting with Donna.
Suchi, aye. Capella, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Driscoll, aye.
What the hell?
You didn't have any mic on.
Right by me, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think, well, I can't hear you.
Al, right. Strike that from the record.
Next, we'll get a vote on accepting the application as complete. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to accept the application as complete.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Joyce Capiello. Roll call, please.
Suchi, aye. Capella, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Al and I.
Driscoll, aye. Are there any more questions of the applicant? Anybody? If not, I'll open it to public comment. Anybody online would like to discuss this? Okay,
I see that there is somebody online. Would you like to talk for or against this application during the public comment time? If so, please raise your hand. We will give you a moment before the chairman closes public comment.
nothing? I'll close public comment.
That's good. We already voted, didn't we?
That was for the waiver.
Yeah, that was the waiver. Now we do the application. That's what we're doing. Okay, read the notice of decision. Have to,
So, just to address the board, I apologize, I know it's on the notice of decision. The board catches everything, but I would like to also include the ZBA information that the applicant was granted the ZBA.
yeah, I got a little arrow here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What variance did they need?
On
Density,
the,
Density.
excuse me.
No, you go ahead, it's you. You go ahead.
It was the density issue that the zoning had changed over the course of time. And the park itself exceeds the latest density zoning requirements. So we applied for a waiver on that regard.
There's a lot of records, eh? Need a waiver. ZBA,
yeah, the variance.
a lot of records. Need a variance.
They don't have, so they don't have an approved site plan because there's a lot of
Oh,
like going
okay,
back
okay,
and
okay,
forth.
okay,
And
okay.
so even though the lot was there, the plan was approved by DES way back when,
Got it, got it.
it had to
Sure.
come back through since it now it has to come our current standard.
Okay, so we didn't do it. It's clear.
Yeah, we hadn't cited a trailer on it yet, because we've had there's lot 140 where a trailer burnt down and we're reciting that, and that's just replacing kind. So we didn't have to go for a variance. But in this regard, we never cited a trailer, so we start from scratch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Notice of decision for case file number 263-10 lot 105-RC-SR. Dear applicant, this is to inform you that the Barrington Planning Board at its August 1st, 2023 meeting approved your application referenced above for a minor site plan. The application has met all ordinances and regulations of the town of Barrington. Any changes to the site used for operation of the business will require reapplication and review by the planning board. At the planning board meeting, the board approved a waiver, item number 1. The requirement that all site plans should be prepared and stamped by a professional engineer. Waiver from Article 3 due to an existing site plan that has been in place for zoning. In addition, the ZBA has granted a variance on July 19th, 2023. The variance was for Article 4, Section 4.2.3 to allow for an additional lot inside the mobile home park, Lot 105, to allow for the density of the plan. The planning board staff and the board would like to wish you the best of luck on your project. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact Vanessa Price, town planner. We have to vote on the notice of decision. Is there a motion? I will make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Case, roll call starting.
Suchi, aye. Happy LOI.
Tessie, all right?
Allard, aye.
Crystal, aye. Thank you and good luck.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll pull it to the process.
Yes. You're welcome. Item number 8, other business that may properly come before the board.
So I probably could have covered this under staff comments, but I didn't know if we wanted to discuss it at all. I know there was an interest by the board previously for impact fees. I've reached out to to a consultant in the area who reached out before for public safety to give a quote for them, but they're also to look at other ideas like recreation, library, police, etc., school. It mainly has to be tied. There's a time limit on impact fees once you start collecting them. And usually you should have a specific project in mind so you don't have to get back money in the end. So I guess what I'm asking for the board today is if we wanted to pursue, or the board wanted to pursue to put this on as a CIP project. The quote I got was for 38,000, but that includes like the whole gamut of things: school, recreation, library, police, and fire. And the only one that I can think of for police and fire is I know the safety building is going to be getting some upgrades. And last year when I got a quote for it, it was only 8,000. So I'm not sure if you guys are more than welcome to think it over. And I can touch base with you on the 15th, or if you want to discuss it now. I just kind of needed like a ballpark. If it's something we want to pursue, then that way I can put it on the CIP and then we can pursue it.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the idea of the library. I think that makes sense.
Mhm,
It's always been, everyone likes the idea, but they don't want to fund it.
mhm,
I mean, to me, I'd go big. I'd add recreation space to it and all kinds of stuff.
mhm.
In downtown. Which, you know, it's gonna be a little more expensive. So I think if we could make that a lot more palatable with impact fees, if we, you know, had a lump sum of money. Everyone else feels, but I think the library and the recreation space is a great idea for downtown.
We know the police is looking for additional space.
Mhm. And I was thinking about maybe having that one separate because when I talked to Chief Joy last year, when they thought they were gonna bring it to the voters for their renovations, I know they weren't quite done with design. So he's like, just wait on that, but they want it, he was the one that actually approached me and says, isn't there anything we can do impact fees? And I said, well, yeah, you can for for the new space. It can't be like, for whatever they're doing for new, it'd be tied to that, but that's still like, you could get some kind of revenue with everybody moving into town and stuff, because you need the safety.
So the 38,000 is a consultant fee?
Yeah.
to develop
They did
this?
to develop the impact fee study, since we don't really have one. The only one that we had was for the schools, and that was outdated. But I just asked them in general, like, if we were to do all the things, like, how much would it be? And so that was like the ballpark figure. And I said, well, there's other caveats that we had spoken about before. He said, yeah, it would probably be trimmed down a lot more, obviously, because if we just want to look at the more feasible options, which is probably the library. I mean, obviously I would get in contact with the library director, make sure that they're on board with it too before pursuing that. And then the recs as well.
Would it be used for if the town bought some property? So there may be some property available behind Caleb's that could be used for community use.
I had thought about that too, because Connor and I had spoken about that that property. I can definitely look into it.
Because I wouldn't I mean, not this year would there, I mean, if the
Right.
select board decided to go ahead with it, there wouldn't be any building on it yet. Or
Right,
anything,
and
just-
the impact fee would have to still be, once they do the study through for our CIP for next year, the study would be done, and then it would go to voters too at that point. So you're looking at least a year and a half out before that
Oh,
could
okay.
possibly
So,
be
yeah, it
implemented.
Wouldn't be for 2024.
It'd be probably for 2025, yeah. To collect the fees, as long as the town has to go to town vote.
It would go to the voters,
Mhm.
24.
But
Mhm.
collect the fee to buy land to construct something that the town could use.
Mhm. Like
Recreation.
recreation space, for
I
example.
mean, what are the scope of the recreation looking for? Oh, it's on a month. What's recreation looking for now? I mean, they have a plan?
So they're always looking for new lands. They have several projects that they want to do. I know it might be contentious with the library, but they need extra space.
I hear they want to do pickleball courts up. on
Yeah, they
Hampshire.
want to have the new amenities. I know they say they want you probably know more about ball.
If the library gets placed up there, then.
Then they'll need their own
land
building.
Or the space they vacate will be a community center space,
Mhm.
but the rec department wants a stairwell and an elevator to get up there. And we haven't seen the energy efficiency report on the rec building yet. I'm sure will not be good.
Yeah.
Well, the other
My
thing
son's
that, we've talked about, a town beach, but why isn't the recreation looking at a town pool?
So that is part of the CIP. When I met with her last week to discuss her CIP projects. She wanted to put something on there. She had water feature originally. Her idea was like splay playground, but now she's wanting to evolve that to other opportunities. That could include a pool, but I mean, a pool, you have to have staff, appropriate staffing and space and
You
changing
keep
and
that coming
stuff.
up in all our surveys. Town
I know.
beach, town beach, town beach has got a lot of
Mhm.
support. I mean, maybe if that can't do that, how about a town pool?
Mhm.
I think you'd be hard pressed to get that. I mean, I'm all for putting it before a vote, but I think you'd be hard pressed to get people to vote for it because of the cost, liability, funding for
Well, you got
employees.
Mhm.
impact fees that are funding part of part of the capital. Might mean a lot more valuable to people.
Honestly, I don't think it's the initial capital. I think
It's
it's
the
the
ongoing?
effect,
The maintenance
ongoing
con-
from
yeah.
there. I think when you present them with insurance costs, employee costs, maintenance costs, everybody's. why?
Everybody's having trouble
The
getting.
beach
lights
is
on
easy,
now,
the lake's
too.
there,
They
and we
wanna
don't have
be
to do
like
anything
that.
to it.
We self-indemnify, we self-insure, this town.
Didn't know that, but I don't.
I can find out for you. Sure.
So I'm gonna
Yes,
push
sir.
that, yeah, I know. I've been talking to Connor and the rec that I want to push that we have like a public health initiative that every child learns to swim.
That would be
We
great.
Still have adult drownings in New Hampshire. We had 3 or 4 people die, not in this town, but throughout the state.
Oh, capsized on swings today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's all.
But the only glitch with swim lessons is where to do it. But the town has and rec have some ideas. Approach campfire side to rent some beach time.
A good discussion. I think the pool's a good idea and Bob says no, so.
I'm not saying no to the pool. I think,
No, I mean, but obviously there's a range of opinions in the town.
Right.
So I think it's good to recognize that.
Maybe the rec can, get some more
but
info on
like
this
I said, I don't know if you heard me,
talking
but it's
to other
easy for
towns.
people to say a beach because it costs nothing. You buy a piece of land and, okay, go enjoy.
Well, I mean, you still have liability and lifeguards, but not as,
And
not
you have
year
to-
round.
right.
And you
like a
have to
pool.
provide parking if it's near the beach too.
Right.
Which we already got parking at the rec, so.
It's probably not the main priority for a few years for a pool, but
Right.
residents want it. We should at least entertain.
So I think we
pros
all
and
agree
cons.
impact fees are something to look at, right? Okay, worthwhile. The merger, you're finished with that, yeah. Okay, is there any other new business that anybody would like to discuss before we take a vote to adjourn?
This is a.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
WLI.
Tessie, all right?
Now and I.
Okay, power. Mike's off.